Hello, Sunset Hills families. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lisa Wilken, and I am the proud principal of Sunset Hills Elementary School. We will return to learning on September 2nd, and we're excited to return in whatever capacity that may be, whether virtually or safely in person. We have missed all of you so very much, and we know that this week, a big decision is to be made. We know that all of our families have different stories, and we are going to get through this together. And these are decisions that we all have to make, and they are difficult. More difficult for some of us than others. And I'm a parent as well, and I know there are many things we consider as parents when we're trying to decide what is best for our family and our children. My son Cade is going into 9th grade, and my daughter Stella is going into 7th grade. And we too have to make decisions that are best for our family. But parents, families, please know all of this weighs heavy on my heart, and I intend for us to be partners every step of the way as we continue to navigate these uncharted times and ever-changing territory. We truly can do anything together. So tonight, we're here to look at our Sunset Hills reopening plan. It is the reopening plan for safety, learning, and health. And we're going to start tonight by hopefully giving you more information so that you can make the best decision for your family. All right, now I'm using a new technology tool called Streamline. So bear with me a bit as I get us through this together. So one of the things that we start every principal meeting with is something that I didn't mean to quote or make into a quote, but it's something that had really stuck. And I want to share it with all of you because it really is important to the way we begin and the way we move through this school year together. Tradition is on pause, and we are making friends with change. We are going to be flexible, and we are going to work alongside each other as things are going to look very, very different this year. And things are going to be different. So we need to really make friends with change. The purpose of today's message is that after you finish listening, you'll be able to make a more informed decision on what is best for your family, whether that be on-campus learning, the Virtual Learning Academy, or an alternative program called the Poway Home Education Program. And I want to share some information with all of you in regards to coming back on campus. And you might hear me say this again. Our intention is to bring all students back to school because we know that is where they belong. However, the most important thing is safety. So if we bring students, not if, but when we bring our students back, whenever that may be, I need you to hear that we will be starting with the contingency plan. And today, later in this presentation, you will hear all about the contingency plan, and it's our staggered schedule AM/PM model. That is how we will return to campus when we are allowed to come back safely. So our goals for today are to go over Governor Newsom's guidelines and mandates because they drive our decisions in the district and at a site level. We're going to talk about PUSD's reopening plans and resources. I'll share those with you. We're going to share the Sunset Hills reopening plan for learning, health, and safety. I'm going to talk you through what on-campus learning experience will look like in this new space, as well as share a little bit more about the Virtual Learning Academy experience that a student could expect. Very different in some ways from our emergency response to the pandemic last spring. And at the very end, I'm going to give you some resources so that you have everything right at your fingertips This PowerPoint will have all links that you could possibly need to continue to dive deeper into information and armoring yourself up with that information to make the best decision. All right, so as we know, the governor has made it very clear that learning is non-negotiable. And we know that at Sunset Hills, and we're excited that we're going to return to learning on September 2nd. If you are interested in watching the governor's address on Friday, July 17th, you can click this link here at the top and it'll take you right to that broadcast. The governor's mandates are overarching umbrella, which really drives the decisions of our district and therefore the decisions that schools can make. Poway Unified has made reopening decisions and created the district guidebook, which was sent to you at the beginning of this week, based upon the governor's mandates and guiding principles. So as mandates, we know learning is non-negotiable. We are planning and we will provide meaningful instruction during the pandemic, whether we are physically open or closed. Students, teachers, staff, and parents obviously prefer in-class instruction. We will only come back on this campus when it's safe to do so, and when we do, we will do it safely. Safety is determined by local health data. That's not a decision I can make or the district can make. All right. Now, the governor had 5 mandates. Number 1, schools can reopen if the county that they are located in has been off the monitoring list for 14 consecutive days. So in order for us to begin school on September 2nd, we need to be off the monitoring list by August 17th or 18th. Schools that don't meet this requirement will begin the year with virtual learning. So all students, if we do not come off this list and remain off for 14 consecutive days before September 2nd, all students will begin in the virtual learning environment. Even if you choose on-campus learning to come back when it's safe and when we can, every student will start in the virtual learning environment. Mask requirements. So this has changed and shifted and adjusted. Currently, all staff must wear masks while at school, and students in grades 3 and above also must wear masks. Students in second grade and below will be and are strongly encouraged, based on the governor's mandate, to wear masks or face shields. I have had the privilege to see many of your students at our ESS program, and just this last week, they've been training students to wear their masks, and it's just so impressive to see all of our kids out there and our staff, our ESS staff, working really hard to help kiddos adjust to wearing a mask. And by the middle of the day, Ms. Sherry our director said that many of them didn't even realize they had them on. So it's just a matter of practice, and we know that we can provide that. So physical distancing, staff must maintain 6 feet between each other and with students. So that's the adult to student. Other things must be in place, which are going to include temperature checks, which I'll share, hand washing and sanitation and disinfectant stations, quarantine protocols will be in place. All of this information from the governor, we have put into a district guidebook. So you will often hear me refer to the district guidebook, and on our Padlet, which is our community question and answer forum, you will also see that I refer many questions back to the guidebook because it is a comprehensive, clear, and informative document. 26 pages long, I think. 26, 30. Let me see. I have mine right here. 28 pages long, but filled with really important information that we will adhere to. Our 4th mandate is around regular testing and contact tracing. This is something that will be determined by the state and their workforce. So this isn't something we can make a decision on. It's something that's made at the state level, and we'll get more information regarding this mandate from our district leadership. Number 5, I believe that at Sunset Hills, we strive and we have always looked to provide the most rigorous learning environment possible. And our theory of action states very clearly that this is something that we continue to work on. And the governor is mandating that all schools provide access to devices and connectivity, the daily live interaction with teachers and other students, which will be different than it was in the spring, challenging assignments equivalent to the in-person classes, and adapted lessons for our English language learners and students in special education, and differentiation for all our students as we would do if they were on campus. All right. PUSD rests upon 4 core values as we continue to reopen and strive to reopen schools. It's really important to us that we provide timely, frequent communication and transparency. That is a commitment that I have to you and to our staff, as well as PUSD has to all of our families. We're committed to maintaining an inclusive, caring, and supportive school culture, something that we've always believed in, whatever it takes, every student, every day. All students are all of ours. And we have a collective responsibility that we believe that each and every one of our students, not just the ones in our class, but they're all of ours. And we are very proud of that collective responsibility here at Sunset Hills. We will establish systematic protocols for health and safety, as I'll explain more. And of course, the governing documents and public departments that that are going to be guiding decisions at the district level in regards to safety and health are the California Department of Public Health and then the San Diego County Public Health Orders. So hopefully you've had a chance to look through the Poway Unified Guidebook. I wanted to just kind of click and open so that you can see in here there's links. This is what the guidebook looks like. And as you scroll through, the table of contents gives you a clear roadmap to what you can anticipate to find in this guidebook. Here's a message from our superintendent, Dr. Phelps. Also, PUSD is committed to providing safety equipment at all sites. Hand sanitizing stations will be distributed throughout campus. Personal protective equipment for staff, touchless thermometers, and electrostatic and UV cleaners will be provided for all sites. We are looking into hopefully even purchasing an extra in order to ensure that we can get through all of the disinfecting and sanitizing in between our staggered schedule, which I'll explain more as we continue. Personal protective equipment, PPE and protocols. Hand hygiene is going to be really emphasized here at school. We've talked about face coverings as well as physical distancing. Depending on the number of families that choose on campus, we will be implementing our contingency plan, and we will make sure to ensure social distancing. We will be keeping social distancing in mind as we set up our classrooms and maximizing workspace to allow for these recommendations. Teachers' desks will be 6 feet away from other students, and group activities will really be limited to specific grade level and class cohorts, which I will also be explaining soon. All right, this makes me smile. This is our most wonderful Sunset Hills. Here's some real-time pictures taken of our campus. This is my most favorite space on the Sunset Hills campus, this tree. It's the kinder tree, and it's on the kindergarten playground. And many of a Wednesday mornings before school, you would find me out there reading stories to our kinder kids and just enjoying my favorite part of the week. So this is real images of our site. We have many sensory walks and different bright, and the messages around campus are positive and based on our character counts, philosophy. Anyway, very, very proud of our Sunset Hills campus. And it's the way it invites, it's so inviting and warm. And I hope that all of our families feel that way. And I hope that our new families, once you are able to come onto campus, you feel the same magic that all of us do. So here on this page is our reopening plan, and you were sent this as well. You can click on this and take a look. I'm going to be talking through some of the main points, but really in depth. You can look in depth here, and a link to the guidebook as well as the district reopening page, which also has many Q&As from parents throughout the whole district. So I really think that that's a fantastic resource, as well as our community Padlet. We know that there are many questions in regards to how it might look differently and when we reopen school. We obviously do not have all the answers. However, we do have really talented, smart people in our district, like our teachers, our staff members, the superintendent, our school board, directors, community members who've been thinking and working really hard since March 13th. And we know that together we can get through this and accomplish anything. I'm really proud of Poway and how they have been working hard to listen to their families, to our families, to students and staff's thoughts and comments and questions regarding the reopening. Behind the scenes, they are working endlessly with all the complexities of staffing for these two programs we're going to talk about today, the on-campus learning model and the virtual learning model. Based on the data trends in the San Diego County, it is highly unlikely that we will be starting, it is highly likely, not unlikely, sorry. It is highly, let me say that again, I'm going to rewind. Based on the trends in San Diego County, it is highly likely that we will all be starting virtually, whether you choose the on-campus, in-person model for this school year or the first part of the school year. You will have an option to reassess your choice after the first trimester. If necessary, switch to a different model. Or you choose our VLA, which is our Virtual Learning Academy. Both on-campus and the Virtual Learning Academy students are going to begin the school year placed in their chosen learning options, because what we're trying to do is ensure continuity of learning and maintain the connection with their classmates and their teachers. Okay, so we're going on here, right here. You can click and see an in-depth look on the guidebook of what on-campus learning will look like for our families. For our purposes today, we are going to go through some of the highlights of this experience. So let's start by talking about arrival, which you can also find in our site plan. Some of the highlights, some of the broad stroke. Students will be screened daily prior to getting out of their car at dedicated zones. This is some questions, some health questions, as well as a temperature, as well as taking their temperature. So we will screen in both ways. Temperatures will be taken, as well as questions on health. Health questions will be asked. We are highly encouraging parents to drive to drop off their students this year during this first phase 1 of in-person learning. The parking lot will be closed except for staff and the arrival and pickup times for students. We plan to have 1 to 2 walk-up wellness check areas along the front sidewalk area for those families that do need to walk to school or choose to walk to school. Students will be sanitizing their hands as they enter the school campus every day. We will have a sanitation station, hand sanitizer set up as they come into campus. Students will walk directly to their designated cohort meeting place. 1st through 5th graders will be going onto the big playground and will maintain social distancing with within their cohort. TK and kinder students will be going into the front will stay at the front main gate by the NPR, and they will meet their teachers. So we are asking, if possible, for our TK and K students to utilize a later drop-off time that you saw on the plan, and they will come towards the end of that drop-off window if possible. Students are going to be asked to adhere to social distancing as much as practical as they move on and off of campus. Bathroom usage. We've been talking a lot about this high-touch area, and some of the ideas that we are working through are having hand sanitizing stations outside of each bathroom, possibly designating certain bathrooms for specific cohorts. Cleaning and sanitizing will absolutely happen between AM and PM sessions when we do start with our contingency model, or we start with the on-campus model. And once we all eventually come back to campus, whoever choose that model, when maybe the contingency model does not need to be utilized any longer, we will be having a scheduled rotation for bathroom cleaning throughout the day. All right, in classroom, what's that going to look like? So in our classrooms, to the extent possible, we'll maximize space between seating and desks. Teachers and other staff will be positioned at least 6 feet away from student desks. Where practical, students will be further separated by privacy boards between their desks, markings on classroom floors to promote social distancing, and arranging desks in a way that minimizes that face-to-face contact. Consideration will definitely be given to redesigning activities for smaller groups that we're calling cohorts, and rearranging furniture to maintain separation. We really want to start thinking out of the box, and we are open. I am open to all creative ideas in regards to outdoor learning environments. We are going to be looking at providing and creating outdoor learning environments for all students to use throughout the day. It might be on a schedule. We have been told that the district will be giving us 2 pop-up tents, and we are hoping to have 8 ultimately within the inner halls, 2 per each hallway, to provide social distanced outdoor learning areas. So when we start to talk about recess, lunch, or a break, what we want to talk about is during these times, as they happen on campus, the number of students per table will be limited and based on CDC and county health guidelines. The distance between tables, when practical, will allow for 6 feet of distance. We'll be looking at different areas on our site for students to enjoy eating lunch when we move into that model. Teachers will be encouraged to allow students to eat in classrooms, and when appropriate and safe, the number of areas in which students will eat and can eat will be increased. Playground time will follow specific cohort schedules and will be adjusted to allow for social distancing and proper sanitation. A lot of these plans are in the works to solidify them, and of course they're fluid as we try them, and if we have to, we adjust. Dismissal. Dismissal locations will be designated to maximize social distancing. All gates will be opened and classrooms will be assigned, so cohorts will be assigned specific routes for exiting the school, and they will wait in a specific spot for pickup. Staff is going to work together during our pickup time to help students off campus safely, adhering to the cohort dismissal system, which is outlined in our site plan. I wanted to share with you our tentative staggered schedule. So session 1 would be an 8:30 start time, 11:15, and then time for at-home learning. And session 2 would start at 12:15 and go till 3 o'clock. And their at-home learning would happen in the morning. Our Sunset Hills Daily Campus schedule with we're calling our contingency model, which we will start with when we're allowed to come back onto campus. As you can see here, 8 o'clock, we'll start our drop-off and student screening. Direct instruction will happen from 8:30 to 11:15, which will include a 15-minute student break. And session 1 pickup will happen from 11:15 to 12:15. Deep cleaning and disinfecting will happen in the hour in between sessions. Session 2 drop-off will begin at 11:45 until 12:10. Teachers will meet their students out at 12:10 on the playground or respectively in front of the school if they are TK or K. And direct instruction and learning begins at 12:15 and also includes a 15-minute break. And 3 o'clock, session 2 pickup and dismissal. So now we're going to move into the virtual learning academy experience. Last spring's distance learning was an emergency response to school closures. And I know that you heard me say that earlier. Our teachers at Sunset Hills and in Poway, I'm going to say especially at Sunset Hills, did an amazing job with limited resources and no training in the virtual environment. We know this was not ideal for our students, and based on your input from the surveys, and I thank you so much for your input, we are going to be using those once we get through this decision-making process and once we start to talk about what school is going to look like in those spaces of the virtual learning environment. We know it wasn't ideal, and based on your feedback and input, we're committed to providing a much more robust online learning experience. So if you are interested in finding out more than I'm going to share, you can always go to the guidebook, pages 18 and 19, for more information. All right, so some really important details of our virtual learning academy experience if you choose this model as best for your family. Students will receive virtual classroom learning 5 days a week from home. Daily online interaction with their assigned teacher and other students, and access to instructional supports. Attendance and grading will occur. Virtual classrooms are going to be organized by school. This is a shift, and virtual classrooms will be organized by school with every intention of keeping every Sunset Hills student at Sunset Hills and with a Sunset Hills teacher. However, there may be cases where this might not work out as we hope. We are going to do everything in our power to keep all Sunset Hills students at Sunset Hills with a Sunset Hills teacher. Now, this shift has happened recently. At the beginning, this district was looking towards a virtual model. A regional model for the virtual learning experience. And now it is the site's responsibility and honor and opportunity to be creative and think outside the box and figure out how we're going to meet the needs of our virtual learners with the staff that is at Sunset Hills and the staff that might need to be in the virtual space as well. So that more information to come. Tangible learning materials will be provided, Chromebooks, all curriculum to all of our virtual learning academy students. There will be equity in academic progress and grading, highly qualified instruction using our district curriculum, and we will absolutely have access to our counselor and our SSA, all emotional supports that are here with our on-campus in-person learning will also be offered in the virtual academy. If you're interested in looking at schedules, you can also click and see some of the different learning schedules that the district has offered as examples. That doesn't mean that we will follow them exactly. We will create sample schedules that work for Sunset Hills and our students and our staff. What you can expect is that both the virtual and on-campus learning experience will share these 8 really key objectives. First and foremost, parents are partners. Parents have always been and will always be our partners here in Poway and especially here at Sunset Hills. For those of you who know me, my door is open. My door on campus was always open. My door is open always, always to you and your families. There will be supports in place for students with differing abilities. Differentiation will occur in both environments, giving students what they need to succeed and to learn and grow in their whatever space they're in. Connection and belonging. We are going to spend, this is going to be new and different, isn't it? 100%. I don't know if ever in history we've had to begin a school year not face to face. We are going to work very hard, and we have an incredible team at Sunset Hills that works to create ideas for connection when we're here. And we are now going to be putting things in place to create connection and belonging, that feeling for all of our students, whether the on campus when we come back or the virtual learning academy. We will use our incredible PTA and foundation to help bring us together as well. Meaningful assessments and feedback will happen in both spaces. As we discussed, rigorous and innovative learning is going to happen. And what an incredible opportunity we have for that to happen. It's an exciting time and scary and can be both of those things at once. Culturally responsive curriculum and instruction, social emotional learning will continue to take place, and we will strive for engagement and collaboration in both environments. All right, I am hoping that some of today's presentation, I'm hoping that some of your questions were answered. I'm hoping that this helped in some way. What I want to provide for you is our question and answer forum. It's a Padlet platform. If you haven't seen it yet, I encourage you to go into this document, which I'll be sending along. You would have already got it when you got the link. And here is the community reopening questions. In green are my responses. The newer questions are on top. As you can see, we've had some new questions 23 minutes ago, 6 hours. Good, I answered that 6 hours ago. So I am doing my very best to stay on top of this forum so that we have a place to connect and be transparent and get questions answered as best I can. And if I don't know the answer, I will look for it and bring it back to this forum. I want to remind everyone that I will be holding live Zoom sessions this Friday in grade level spans. So TK and K, 9:00 a.m. You will get a personal invitation via email on Thursday with a link and password to our Zoom meeting. First and second grade will follow at 10 a.m. I'm hoping that the sessions will be about 45 minutes. Please feel free to come in and go out as you need to. Third, fourth, and fifth grade will be 11 a.m. And then for our special day classes, we have not yet determined the time and date as we're waiting to get more information from our special education department at the district level. And they are working very hard with a lot of legalities and legal information. So we should be getting that information soon. And then I will be setting up a date and time for to hold a Zoom for those families as well. All right. So right now you might be thinking, what next? Well, I really want to encourage, you might have some pending tasks. So I really want to encourage you, if you haven't already, to review the Sunset Hills plan for reopening, to review the PUSD guidebook. It's very thorough and complete. Maybe explore some of the other options. The survey is due. Parents, families, you are tasked with choosing which learning model you are going to pick for your students by Friday, July 31st at midnight. we're going to visit feel free to visit the ESS website. I know that we did not touch too much upon ESS as we are also waiting for more information. And as soon as we get it, I will be sending it your way. What I do know, and what many of you know who are already Sunset Hills ESS regulars or attendees, is we have the best program in the district by far, hands down. The most creative, the most loving, the most nurturing, the most accommodating. Mrs. Gracie, Miss Sherry, as we call her, works around the clock with her staff to provide such a fun and safe experience for students in the past and today. And our hats go off to her. And she is a partner here with us at Sunset Hills as we partner. Our kids, ESS kids, are our kids, and our kids, we're all Sunset Hills kids. So we do not have enough information to present it to you yet, but you can check out their website, and I'm answering questions on our Padlet as I know the answers. Take a breath. I should take a breath too. We are all in this together, and I am honored to be here alongside you. Above, I have created a one-stop shop resource for you, and I want to show you what it looks like. It has the reopening, a link to all of the things that we've talked about, the reopening plan, the guidebook, different websites, the CDC, and much more. So let me show you what that looks like. So this is what that looks like, and it has starts at a local level or community level with here at Sunset Hills, moves to Poway, and then California. And I will be adding different links as needed and as I find them. But there's a lot of information right here in one place at your fingertips. So I hope that you will find that useful. Stay connected with us, Seagulls. I just want to remind all of you who have not signed up for the one-way text notification to go to this link in the PowerPoint presentation, which you will have, or simply text to 4GCB4F to 81010. We also are on social media. We post pictures on our Facebook page. We post on Twitter. We will now have a YouTube channel. And then I think you're in it now, watching this there, and as well as an Instagram account. So these are all the different ways that you can stay connected with us. I really do encourage you to sign up for Remind, as those are quick text messages from me to remind you of anything that needs that's relevant to our school. Please stay connected with me. I am here to support your family. I just want you to know that together we've got this. And I have all the confidence that you are in the best hands with the staff at Sunset Hills. Their hearts are in this. Their heads are in this. They are excited to get back to learning, and we got this. So I'm here if you need me. Please stay connected. My email address is right here. I'm appreciating the emails that I am getting and trying to get back to all of you as quickly and as soon as I can. I look forward to seeing many of you, if not all of you, in our Zoom meetings on Friday. And for our TK and K families, I think it'll be my first time to say hello and meet you in a smaller space. So thanks again for watching. And I hope that wherever you are in your day, that you have some wonderful moments in the rest of your day and week. And I hope this has informed or helped inform you to make the best decision for your family.